Bigger isn't always better, but sometimes it is. A larger 34mm tube and 56mm objective lens are definitely not always necessary, but what they can do is they can help you to achieve certain optical and mechanical qualities that just aren't possible at this price range with a smaller, lighter setup. The Titan line of rifle scopes are our mid-range 34mm tube rifle scopes for shooters who don't mind sacrificing a little bit of weight for some extra performance without breaking the bank. This particular model is a 5-25 first focal plane in MRAD. Let's run through some of the features. Starting with a form factor, you'll see that this is by no means a small scope. If you want something lighter and smaller, I would consider looking at the Helix, which is just below this on the price scale, and the Nexus, which is our top of the range scope, which are both 30mm tube scopes. They'll be a little bit lighter, but they'll more or less achieve the same thing. We will be putting up a comparison video on this channel, so subscribe to see that. We'll be comparing different models to each other. So let's look at the overall features of the scope. Starting right at the back here, we've got a fast focus eyepiece, which you can turn in and out. It's textured, so you can, grip it nicely. It also looks great at the back. But this you'll basically use to adjust the reticle to suit your eye. And I have to say, the Titan reticle just snaps into focus with your eye very, very easily. It's actually one of the better scopes I've ever seen for just getting your eye on target and not making your eye work hard to find the focus of the reticle. Moving a little bit forward, we've got the magnification ring. This is a 5-25 first focal plane scope. So you've got your indicator showing which magnification you're on. And because it's a first focal plane, it doesn't really matter what magnification you're on. The reticle will subtend correctly. So you don't need to do any mental math when changing magnification. With the fact that this is a first focal plane and with the reticle options we have, the scope becomes very well suited to something like PRS or NRL shooting, where you have to change your magnification very quickly. And talking about changing your magnification very quickly, this particular model doesn't have it on right now, but where this little hex screw is, we do include a removable throw lever which you can fit in this gap. So if you want to change magnification quickly and you need something extra to grip on, the throw lever is available. Moving a bit forward, you will see that we do have a 34mm main tube here. This basically just allows extra space for your erector tube inside here. That's the part that moves up and down to adjust your elevation and windage. And what this means is that the Titan does have a fair amount more travel than the Helix and the Nexus. If we compare this to the Helix, which is kind of very similar to many ways in terms of build quality and internal components, this is going to give you 90 MOA of travel or more, whereas the Helix is going to give you 65 MOA of internal travel. That's elevation travel. Now we get to the meat and potatoes of the scope. Around the saddle here, you can immediately see we've got chunkier turrets to our other models, the Helix and the Nexus. These turrets feature 10 milliradians or 25 MOA per revolution. They do feature the exact same tool-free resetting system and the exact same zero stop system that our other models feature. And obviously, because of this larger 34mm tube, you do get more elevation adjustment. On the side over here, you can see the parallax in the illumination. The scope is illuminated, unlike the less expensive Helix. The illumination dial goes from 1 to 6 with an off position in between. So if you want to switch from your favorite position and turn it off, you only need to go one click, which is fantastic. And the parallax goes down to 15 yards or 15 meters. So that makes it, again, very, very suitable to a sport like NRL 22 if you're shooting a rimfire and you need to get nice and close, or air rifle shooting. This scope, although we say it's great for air rifle shooting, it is obviously built around centerfire rifles, so it can handle recoil of up to 50 BMG. In fact, when they test the scope at the factory, they put it on a machine which simulates 500 shots with a 50 BMG. That's 1000 Gs of force repeated 500 times, and the scope is not allowed to shift point of impact at all from all that recoil. So it can handle pretty much anything. Quick demonstration of how the tool-free turrets work. You've got a knurled cap on top, which you can simply remove by hand. And then you've got a whole bunch of slots matching up to the clicks of the turret, which the turret cap itself locks into. You can lift this off, exposing the zero stop. You can loosen the zero stop, set your turrets, tighten the zero stop back in position, or remove it completely if you don't want it there. And by the way, we've got a separate tutorial on how to set your zero stop and how to set your turrets when zeroing your rifle scope if you want to check that out. And then you can simply slot your turrets back to zero, everything lines up, and you can fit the cap again, which will stop anything from lifting off position again. Very, very easy to use, very intuitive, and we absolutely love that feature. Beneath the turrets, inside the main body tube of the scope, is something that you don't get to see with your own eyes. Well, you do from this side, and that's the reticle. We mentioned this is a first focal plane reticle in the Titan 5-25 by 56, and this reticle we've put a lot of thought into. We actually have 4 reticles available. We have 2 MOA reticles, the EHR-1C and EHR-2D, and the MRAD reticles, the APR-1C and the APR-1D. These reticles are quite different. The C variants are very clean and very easy to use and very easy on the eyes. So if you're someone who just wants to do occasional hunting, or you don't plan to do any crazy long range stuff or any holdover shooting, PRS, NRL, you'll probably want the simple reticles or the C variants. And if you want to do more technical shooting where your reticle is a little bit more cluttered but has a little bit more features, then you can take a look at the D variants of the reticles. And by the way, these reticles are available as downloads on our website, so you can go onto the Element Optics website, you can click on the reticles tab, and you can download the reticle guide in high definition and check what these reticles are all about. We also have a lot of information in the instruction manuals for anyone who has actually purchased these scopes. Let's talk a little bit about what's inside the scope, the optical system, something that not many people talk about. The optical system in this scope is upgraded from the less expensive Helix. We have a 56mm objective lens, which doesn't really mean anything in itself. All it basically means is you're letting in a little bit more light to the optical system. The Titan has 17 lenses in total, which is a lot, and that's because of the extra lanthanide glass elements that we have in here. The lanthanides are a series of elements in the periodic table that are used in sort of high-end lenses, and that's a bit of a clue to where we get the Element Optics name from. But as I said, the Titan has a better optical system than the Helix. So if you compare the Helix and the Titan, one of the reasons you're paying more for the Titan is because of those extra lens elements that just help with clarity and help with reducing chromatic aberration and other artifacts. The only downside to some of these features and the extra lens elements is that it does add weight. So you will just have to decide for yourself whether you want the better optical system and the more features and more capability, or whether you want something that's a little bit lighter like the Helix, or you can go for something like the Nexus and get everything in one complete package, lightweight scope at very, very high level. Lastly, let's talk about some of the accessories that come standard with the Titan. We did a separate unboxing video which you can take a look at. We'll put a link down below, but the Titan does come standard with a sunshade. It comes with a bikini cover that can fit over the lenses of the scope if you've got it stored in your safe. We've got flip-up caps that are spring-loaded that you can use when you're out in the field. If it's raining, pop them down. When you're hunting, pop them up. Very, very simple. We've got a lens cloth, we've got the throw lever, and we've got a few stickers and little goodies that come with the scope as well. So that's a fantastic little package. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Titan. Thanks for watching. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos about our products or just interesting tutorials on how to mount your scope to your rifle, or how to set the zero stop, all those little things that can be helpful in getting the best out of your products. And you can also follow us on social media and tag us in your pictures using the hashtag #SeeItSendIt. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.